Today, I would like to talk about my personal experiences about joy. Before I ordained, I mistakenly thought that I could be happy if I had a good career, acquire more material possessions, travel all over the world, wore nice clothes, and ate good food, or being financially independent so that I could do whatever I wanted to do would bring me ultimate happiness. Indeed, it took me a long time to realize that chasing worldly success and happiness and indulging in sensual pleasure only brought me dissatisfaction, disappointment, and exhaustion, and not long lasting happiness. Then I carried the worldly success with its shallow roots and all its expectation with me to my early monastic life. Again, I mistakenly thought that I would be happy if I attained high realization. If I was a proficient practitioner who memorized all the sutras, mastered all the meditation techniques, and knew how to play all the Dharma instruments, or if I held an important role in the monastery. As I was preparing for this talk, I had a great laugh at myself for how silly and immature I was as a baby nun. To be honest with you, I hardly had any joy during the first few years of my monastic life. All my time, energy, and effort were to deal with my afflictions, strong emotions, and negative thoughts and attitudes. Very fortunately, the past 3 years, I've been able to internalize the teachings by taking them to heart and integrate them into my daily life. As a result, I have experienced a positive shift in my monastic life, which is filled with much more enthusiasm, delight, gladness, and joy than I felt before. Through the struggle and challenges of my early monastic life, I learned something important. Lack of aliveness and joy is not a sign of awakening. In addition, I don't need to suppress my natural inclination to celebrate life and to feel joyful and happy as a Buddhist practitioner. Being serious in my practice could only shut down my vitality and make me feel rather disconnected from myself and others, and less able to respond compassionately to the suffering of those closest to me. In fact, joy is a fruit of my inner transformation from diligent practice and training in a relaxed, balanced, and joyful manner. Joy creates a spaciousness in the mind that allows me to hold the suffering I experience inside me and around me without being overwhelmed, without collapsing into helplessness and despair. It brings inspiration and vitality, dispelling confusion and fear while connecting me with life. Indeed, it can inspire me to celebrate joyfully the goodness of life as well as to share the goodness of my life with others. More importantly, joy fuels my energy and joyous effort, nourish my faith and support the other spiritual powers of mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. The Dalai Lama and Bishop Desmond Tutu are a good example of people who've seen tremendous suffering and are still able to inspire others with an infectious joy. I would like to share some very joyful moments with you. First, having the courage, determination, and honesty to recognize a few mistakes in my practice and to be able to correct them bring me so much joy, faith, and confidence in the Dharma. One of the major mistakes that I made in my early monastic life was to jump to advanced study and practice without having good foundations in the Buddhist worldview. Indeed, establishing strong foundations will make all the difference to what comes later in my practice and training. I'm very, very happy that my attitude has changed from beating myself up for the mistake that I make to better late than never. Next, a few years ago, realizing I just study for study's sake and practice for practice sake is a joyful experience, as well as a wake-up call for me. Gladly reflecting regularly on how my practice and training are doing and how my monastic life is going has helped me reconfigure the direction and purpose of my study and practice. Now I don't need to track myself to Kuan Yin to practice as I used to. And studying the Dharma is one of my favorite things to spend my time on. Furthermore, another joyful moment for me is to learn that the path is one of unification and integration of body, mind, and heart. Thanks to all the profound teachings that I have encountered, I have put efforts to keep my practice balanced in three aspects instead of just focusing on my mind only in my early monastic life. How wonderful this balance is to bring stability, vitality, and goodness in my practice and training. Moreover, as a baby nun, I naively thought enlightenment is something to be conquered. To be able to correct my wrong spiritual goal and to learn the path as one of healing is truly a fascinating and enjoyable experience in my practice. It seems that various daily practices have significant positive healing effects on my physical and mental well-being. As a result, my health has, as well as my energy level has improved so much. Through practicing the four immeasurables and forgiveness, I gradually am able to let go and drop my hatred, my grudge, my painful memories against the commoners. It is indeed great blessing to myself and a freedom for my heart. Lastly, monastic training is very challenging and yet one of the most joyful experiences for me. It has helped me stretch my capacity, which I previously thought it was impossible for me to do, such as overcoming my shyness and my fear of public speaking in order to give a BBC or to participate in a discussion group, cooking lunch for a sizable group with limited time, facilitating safe with no prior experience, and so on. Without sincere practice and training, I don't think I will be able to grow spiritually and personally and will not experience any joy or happiness as I do now. In conclusion, I would like to share with you verse 354 from Dhammapada. The gift of Dharma is the most precious gift. The taste of Dharma is the sweetest taste. The joy of Dharma is the greatest joy. The extinction of craving is the end of all suffering. I do hope your practice and training also bring you joy and gladness as well. Thank you.